So I will tell a little bit I will introduce myself. My name is Anastasia, and since my early childhood, since I was 11 years old, I was interested in psychology because of I have mentally history of my family. My grandmother, she was suffered with schizophrenia since I remember myself, since I was born. So I was exposed to mental health hospital and all difficulties since I remember myself. And so when I turned 11 years old, I started to attend Faculty of Psychology for teenagers, and then I finished a bachelor degree as a teacher and psychologist. And I started to work in the hospital where my grandmother was for over 20 years. And I studied clinical psychology. And 2 years ago, I was graduated with a master in mental health from the University of Liverpool. And my dissertation was related to how sport and fitness affect emotional, behavioral, and intellectual development of children with autism. And I was working in Abu Dhabi with a fitness company where we was doing sessions, me as a psychologist and trainer from fitness part, we was conducting fitness session for children with autism. It was individual sessions, fitness and swimming. And I was working in the hospital for people with mental diseases for 5 years. So I saw the effect of medication and traditional treatment, how it affects children, and I saw that I would say there is no treatment, it's just suppression of symptoms. And that's why I started to learn about sport, because I started to practice sport myself, and I saw effect on myself, I feel it. And then I started to do research about it, and it seems like a good, very practical and workable option for therapy. And also I discovered DIR Floortime, which from my perspective, it's one of the most humane therapy which is existing for today. And at the same time, it's evidence-based, and it shown its efficacy because it was established in 1970, so it's already 50 years. It's very well developed in Canada and in America, but on Middle East, in Abu Dhabi, there is only me and Jessica Fuller, who is licensed with as a DIR practitioners. In Dubai, I know about 2 people. Yeah, so we're a very small community, and that's the reason why I came up with this workshop to bring more parents on board. And at current situation, when a lot of facilities closed and people struggled financially, I think it's a good option and a good way for parents to learn and start to be the best therapist for their children. Yeah. Do you have any questions at this point?
Nope.
No. Okay. I will share the screen, and on the screen you will see the presentation. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, good. So we just will touch the core concept of DIR, and it will give you good review of how it is different for any other therapy. So we will review the definition of DIR, what developmental stages in DIR, because it's very different from any other therapy, what it is, individual differences, what place of relationship plays in this therapy, key ideas of DIR, the difference between behavioral approach, developmental approach, and play therapy, how we can implement DIR, what next steps you can make, and question and answers if any. So the DIR, it's a model which was developed by Dr. Stanley Greenspan in 1970s, which promotes and relies on development, relationship, and individual differences of children. And this therapy can be implemented currently. It's applicable now even for coaching of parents and adults, not only for children. And DIR Floortime is the application of DIR theoretical framework. So when we sit on the floor with child and we're conducting the session, that's what calls DIR Floortime. And when we are talking about go to the level of the child, it's not only physical level of the floor, but developmental level as well. Yeah, uh, we will not bring any ideas or words which is out of experience or developmental level of the child.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. So this is Dr. Greenspan. He extracted 9 levels of development. Uh, here is only 6, and today we will focus on the first 4, as our children mostly has challenges with the first 4. The first one is self-regulation and interest in the world, which is normally established from 0 to 3 months. Next is engaging and relating from 2 to 7 months. Purposeful two-way communication from 3 to 10 months. Complex communication and shared problem from 9 months to 1.5 years. Using symbols and creating emotional ideas from 1.5 years till 3 years, and logical thinking and building bridges between ideas 3 to 4 years old. So in normal development, all these 6 stages child will complete by 4-5 years old, but with our children, what we're doing in DIR, we following the same developmental ladder, but some children, maybe let's say by 2, 3, 5 years old, they may be on the first 3. Yeah, and what we doing, we building, we solidifying the every developmental step. I will tell now a little bit more about the first 4 and why is it so important. So the first step, the first stage which child should develop from 0 to 2 months, it's self-regulation and interest in the world. Why it's so important? There is a huge difference between self-regulation and self-control. Self-regulation, it's when I'm okay with myself and with the world around. It's coming from inside out. Yeah. For example, we can observe 2 children both sitting quietly. Yeah. But one will be quiet and also inside, like very comfortable and calm inside. But another one can be anxious and have some anxiety. But he or she will know that this is rule. Like I have to sit quietly. This will be self-control. This is control from bottom up. So cognitively, I know that I have to be quiet, but I'm not comfortable about it. Does it make sense? Does it make sense? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The child who develops self-regulation, they maintain longer flow of interactions. What we can see with a lot of our children is even if child is intelligent or child interest what's happening around, but because there could be a lot of emotion and it could be either excitement or either anxiety or either fear, any kind of emotion, but it could be so overwhelming the child may even have difficulties to say any words, yeah, or to continue to play. So that's why the self-regulation is so important. And it's letting child to enjoy interaction without immediately withdrawing, uh, remaining regulating, not over or underreacting in response to internal or external stimulus. When we're talking about stimulus, it could be any sensory input, audio, visual, tactile, smell, taste. It could be emotional input. It could be social input. Let's say difference between being on one-to-one with someone in the room or in a crowded room when there's a lot of people or in open space. So that's all falling under stimulus. And self-regulation is not taught but developed through co-regulation. What it is co-regulation? Co-regulation is when a child, the baby crying, and if you will leave baby by itself, they will cry for very long time. Why is it so? Because the part of the brain which is responsible for emotion, it's developed the very first one. And the one which is responsible for control, it's developed the very last, and it's developed fully by the age of 16, 18. Yeah, that's why even on neurological level, child has no capacity, no brain capacity to soothe themselves down. That's why they need a caregiver to come, to hold, and to soothe. If we leave child by themselves when they're crying, yes, they will become quiet after some times. But become quiet and calm is very different. Calm, it could be a stress reaction, which call freeze or fight. Yeah, so child may be just freezing because they're so tired of being crying and over emotional that they have no energy anymore. But it doesn't mean that they calm down. Does it make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Next one, second stage, engaging and relating. On this stage, it's from 2 to 6 months. Child should be able initiating and respond uh, on the words or touch of caregiver, recognize special caregivers, ability to recognize feelings, sadness, anger, happiness, the very basic feelings. Engage in relationship, and it will be all non-verbal engagement. Just a second. So Lavanya will join us. And it all will be non-verbal engagement, but in order for child to successfully have verbal communication, they first have to be able to recognize non-verbal signs of the caregivers and respond on it. Hi, Lavanya. Lavanya, can you hear us? Lavanya, can you say something? Okay, she will join us when she will feel comfortable. Okay, the next step, the next stage of development, purposeful two-way communication. You may observe it with your children or with other children. They may know a lot of words. They may even understand what you're saying, but will have difficulties to initiate. Yeah, even if they want something, um, they may not say the words or not even point on it. Yeah, so that if we observe this behavior, that's what we can say that there's challenges on the third level, purposeful two-way communication. Also, I think you may saw that child may reply to your questions but never initiate or very rarely initiate. Yeah, so on the third stage, there's purposeful two-way communication where there's continuous flow back and forth, back and forth. When child respond on the caregiver attention, when child able to reach things, take, pulling, pointing on what he or she wants, and recognize that she causes people and things to react. That's the stage where children may push the food from the table as an exploration and see that, oh, every time I push, mommy will be upset, or if I smile, mommy will smile back, or if I cry, someone will come. So at this stage, child exploring this, that he or she causing reaction of object and people. Mhm. And the first stage is purposeful complex communication and shared problem solving. So at this stage is child able to negotiate their wants and needs. For example, may even point on something and you will say no, and child will insist that they wanted learning to interact to solve problems, such as if there's any toys and toy is very high on the shelf, and at this point child have to be able either to bring the chair or to pull the mommy or daddy so they will reach what is on the shelf. Child at this on this stage developing sense of self, they start to say I, me, and clearly understand that they are different from others. Continuous flow of communication. I would like to stress this point because in DIR, the concept of circles of communication, it's one of the central. Circle of communication, it means I say something and another person reply. And then I again say something and another person will respond. And this back and forth, back and forth. Yeah, because what we may see with children who has different challenges, there may be one, two flows and then they disconnected. They may go somewhere, jump, touch something, or lose interest. Did you observe this? That there's no continuity of flow?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. By age of 2, the child have to be able to maintain at least 50 circles of communication in one set. Yeah. Um, but some of our children, it could be 1, 2, 3, and then they disengaged. So we are working in DIR a lot of attention giving to increase amount of back and forth communication. And communication and talking is very different. Talking is not necessary communication. Yeah. So when we're talking about communication, we're counting even non-verbal one as touching, looking, pulling, pushing, any way child showing us interest and engagement, we will count it as a communication. Mhm. At this stage, also child imitates something something new what caregiver introduced. That's why in the nursery there is such important nursery rhymes, because there is imitation of sounds and moves. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's what you can. It's one of the tool which you can start to do even from today, tomorrow. So the nursery rhymes, it's not for fun. There's a lot of developmental processes which happening. First, it may help your child to talk, because the parts of the brain uh, which perceive music and which produce music, they develop much earlier than the one which is responsible for speech. That's why we're singing lullabies. We're not talking them. Yeah, we're not saying them. So or children who is stuttering, they may sing without stuttering, but when they start to talk, they will have difficulty. So if your child has any challenges with talking, uh, it will be easier for them to start to practice talking through the singing. Then you introducing following the moves. Yeah, in any nursery rhymes there will be moves. So it will help the child build up such skills as follow instruction, eye-hand coordination, fine motor skills. Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
nursery rhymes is very, very strong and at the same time playful tool which
Mm-hmm.
help with development of the child. I really love this picture. As you see, there's different animals, and whoever teacher or assessment is happening, for a fair selection, everybody has to take the same exam. Please climb the tree. And that's what we see in our educational system, or even in society, that there's the same measurements, I would say, the same expectations to very different people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there is no two people I like, and individual differences are the norm, not the exception. So in DIR, we give a lot of attention to individual differences of the child, how this child is different from others, and what is the strength of the child. So when we're talking about individual differences, what exactly we will consider? We will start with the family, because family is where, let's say, if we will take two seeds, the same seeds, and one we will place in the rich soil, then another in the sand. From the soil, the same seed will bloom, and from the sand, nothing will happen. Yeah, but the seed will be the same. So the family is the soil for the child, and a lot of potential how it will unfold in the child. It depends from the family. So we will consider the family values. We will consider the coping patterns in the family style, if it's a teamwork, if all family members are engaged, or there's only mother engaged, only father. We will consider cultural differences when we doing therapy. Engagement of the family, because like some families with which I'm working, they want to know everything and they're eager to know as much as possible. And some like literally will say, like, when I go to hospital, I don't have to read like medical books. I just come and receive intervention. Yeah, and the same expected from psychologist or from DIR therapist. and it cannot work like this. Yeah, in DIR, Dr. Greenspan even has such expression as DIR family. So its child is not isolated from the surrounding. Yeah. Then we will consider the sensory system of the child. So how child process all inputs from his moves, from audio, what he see, what he smell, what he hear, because the ability to process and it all will affect the child behavior. There's hypoactive and hyperactive children. Yeah, hypoactive, it means for child, for example, to process some sounds, it should be loud sounds. Yeah, because his system not sensitive enough. And some children, it's enough like very low volume sounds. Yeah, or some children love deep pressure and very hard pressure, and some children will be very sensitive even to the texture of their clothes. So when we're doing therapy, we're considering the sensory system of the child. Regulation, it's what we was talking before. It's ability to self-regulate. Neurological differences, it's the neurological differences, it means how well developed the brain, what part of the brain developed, if because sometimes parents has MRI reports, activity of different parts of the brain. Then biological, physiological, and praxis, different. Praxis is ability to sequence the moves. Yeah, maybe you saw that Natalie, as you say that your daughter, she doesn't know or have challenges to know what to do or how to play. Yeah, at at this point, it could be one of the possible explanations. Challenges with praxis, meaning sequencing their moves. Yeah, we may ask child, go to the kitchen and bring me spoon and fork. Yeah, child may went to the kitchen and will not do anything, and it's not related to the memory, not necessary. Yeah, but sequencing the moves of the body, what body have to do, what to do with my body. And that's where we're going back to the nursery rhymes, because when children has challenges with praxis, nursery rhymes can be helpful because child has to memorize what to do and manipulate with their body. Do you have any questions about this at this point? No?
No. Interesting.
Okay, then we go DIR, and R stands for relationship. I would like both of you, Revati and Natalie, remember your favorite school subject, if you have such. You don't have to tell about it, but your favorite school subject, or when you was in the college and the university. Is there something came to your mind?
Yeah, my favorite subject is science, physics.
Okay. Natalie, did you recall something?
I loved English literature.
Okay. So science and English. Now, can you recall your teachers about those subjects? What kind of relationship did you have with them? Or what kind of feelings did you have towards them? Is it was something warm and trustful, or it was something?
It was quite an open relationship, you know, very approachable.
Okay. What about you, Revati?
Yeah, it was very beautiful. Like, you used to clear all the doubts. It was very beautiful relation, I can say. It was very warm.
Okay. And did you have any subject which you like really hate or like didn't like at all?
That is chemistry.
Okay.
Eight
And
formulas.
okay, Natalie, did you have any subject like this which you really didn't like?
French.
Okay. Now, do you remember the teachers of chemistry and French?
Yes.
What did you feel about these teachers?
Didn't like her
Yeah.
at
What
all.
about what about you, Rivati?
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I'm scared to see them.
Okay. So, and now, for sure in your life, you have someone whom you really, really love and have very strong feelings. Just remember this person. And if there was any situations when you went beyond and over yourself, and even if you pushed your limits, you was very happy to do because it was for this person. Did you have
Yes.
this experience?
Yeah.
Yeah. Rivasi, do you have this?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the power of relationship.
Right.
When we love someone, when we trust someone, when someone is approachable and with whom we feel related, we will be happy to do anything with this child. It's not
Yes.
about subject of science, or it was not about chemistry. It was not about subject itself, but it came from the person. And the same was with me. Even about math. At one period of school time, I hated math. There was another teacher, okay, whom I really loved, and they was the best in the math. So, and we all have to live this experience when, if it will be for someone whom we really love, we will happily push our boundaries. We will happily challenge ourselves. We will happily tolerate some discomfort, and we'll do something maybe even more than we expected from ourselves. Yeah. So that's one of the strongest tool in DIR. Relationship is the tool through which we're working with development of the child. First, we will build bonds. That's what Natalie, what you was talking about.
Yeah.
We're building bonds because if therapist or parent has no bonds with the child will not feel interest. They may feel interest to the toy, but it will not develop communication skills. Yeah, it will just play with the object, but there will no emotions. There will be no interactions. Yeah, and where there is no emotion and interaction, there is no development. Yeah, so affect or emotions is a core concept of DIR Floortime. Emotional relationship, it's all the tool through which we can transfer child through developmental ladder. Pleasurable affect or pleasant emotions. That's how we will hold the child when we have this fun and a lot of excitement. In between this fun, we will put challenges on the child, and child will develop and work hard even without realizing it. Yeah, because maybe you saw like both of your child went through AB and you saw like maybe child was not really engaged or was not happily going to the session, and when you have no pleasant experience, you will not even give attention to it. Yeah, you will not be bothered what's happening around you. And yeah, that's the whole point why we will give so much attention, and it will be the very first attention we will talk about relationship. Nothing is matter in DIR Floortime as much as relationship. Yeah. So this is the components of DIR Floortime. D, developmental level, will tell us where we have to start to work and where we have to go. Individual difference will tell us what we have to emphasize and what we have to avoid. What it means is, for example, if child is very sensitive to sound, it means when I'm talking to child, I don't have to be very loud or talk very fast, or if child has difficulties to process the speech, I will talk slowly and make pause between words and will wait. Yeah, so we considering individual differences, and developmental level and individual differences will tell us how to build strong relationship. What it means, for example, if child has didn't develop the self-regulation and easily getting upset and frustrated, yeah, my style of relationship will include a lot of soothing, a lot of calming activities. Yeah. So in DIR, all these components, they're interrelated and interconnected. Where we and how we can use DIR. Me as a psychologist, I don't have education in speech therapy or occupational therapy. I'm working mostly on development of this developmental ladder, but DIR can be used as a framework to conduct speech therapy or occupational therapy, or be applied to educational system. For example, in Canada, there is the entire schools which are operating based on DIR model, and it could be used to develop cognition, communication, emotion processing, so all the components of child development. Now, the key ideas of DIR. There's a lot more, but I just choose some of them, which I would say you can apply even starting from tomorrow. Yeah. So first, it's back and forth conversation is emphasized. It's what we touched before, that our children may be able to reply for any questions, but not initiate something. So what we want to build this capacity to maintain this chain of back and forth conversation. And it's not necessary, it could be words, it could be even touching or throwing ball back and forth, or rolling car back and forth. Yeah. So, or for example, if you're playing with sensory, like let's say with the sand, yeah, you can hide hand and find hand of each other, or look for the toys. So it's just engagement of in one activity. In DIR, there is no such things as pathology or deficiency. We're working with the strength of the child and how to reach and unfold the full potential of the child. Adults with autism, they advocate that the concept of normalization is very traumatic and frustrating. So in DIR, the ultimate goal is improving quality of life, but not making person look normal, because it's thought place to be when someone permanently wants to change who you are. Yeah, so we focus on strengths of the child. Next, developing capacity through engagement. That's what we discussed before. Surface behavior and compliance are de-emphasized. Why is it de-emphasized? Because behavior is just top of the iceberg. Yeah. Let's say child flapping hands or child running around.
Yeah.
What we see only behavior, but what is behind this behavior? And it could be dozen of reasons. It could be sensory seeking, it could be self-calming, it could be the child so much frustrated they don't know what to do. It could be child so much excited that they don't know what to do. It could be the child is bored. So that's why in DIR we're not looking at the behavior because it doesn't give us any key to the child. Yeah. Next one. Process is emphasized over contact. I don't know if you had a chance to watch the video which I sent from Dr. Siegel, being versus doing. But what he said, they say that we're human beings. We're not human doings. If you recall yourself when you was dating with your husband or with your first love, it was the pure pleasure just to hold hands or to sit on the grass or to look nowhere. It's just pleasure to be with another person. And there is no goal. So the child developing when the feeling that my mommy or daddy or whoever around, they just enjoying being with us and they accept us the way we are. And that's very empowering because what I see like in a lot of centers or in a lot of families, the child constantly told that this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. And it's a very traumatic experience. It's a disempowering child to do anything, to explore the world, and disempowering to connect with others because it's serving opposite goal. Yeah, when we constantly saying that this wrong, then child has no interest to connect with others. So follow the child lead, power of play. If you recall how you was playing or how animals playing, like I clearly can remember how I was playing. We never had a gender. We never had a goal. We just jumping, running, cutting something, pasting something, whatever, like just enjoying the process and enjoying the play. And in play, it never was like this that we'll meet our, like in kindergarten or nursery, and we will start to discuss like what what we have to reach at the end of the game. Yeah, so we just playing, and all the infants or children, either in animal world or in human world, they're developing through the play. Yeah. And why we're following the child lead? Because where the child interest, that's where the child emotions. Yeah. And emotions, that's through emotions we can boost development of the child. For example, both of you for sure has some area of interest. I don't know, it could be cars, it could be cooking, it could be makeup, it could be books, whatever. And if we will start to talk about something what you like, we can talk for hours. But if I will start to push you to talk about engines of rockets in China, how long can you keep your focus and interest and be engaged? It will be a very short time. So why are we following the child lead? Because we know if we will provide some activities within the interest of the child, we can do much more. We can boost development much more than through something what we bringing. As Natalie, you say at the beginning, like there was a lot of cards on the therapy, but your daughter was not seems interested. Or
Yeah.
even like therapist might tell like she has short attention span. I'm sure like 99% of parents hear this, that your child has short attention span.
Yeah.
And I always advocate for the child. It's not the child fail, it's you the one who failed to find something what interesting for this child. Because for sure there's always something what child is interested about. And when you find this thing, the child can play for half an hour, for 1 hour straight. So that's why we want to pause and we want to observe what's the interest of my child. And then build up our therapy around his or her interest. In DIR, therapist will never, or caregiver will never bring on the table something and start to push it. Yeah, because child already has a lot of challenges and we don't want to add another one and another one on the top. Yeah. Okay, next one, affectively charged relationship that we was talking about. Okay, next, bottom up. Bottom up, what does it mean? It means that we're following developmental ladder. Child can be very intelligent. And I don't know what, like, a lot about your children, but for example, if we're talking about children with autism, it's not affecting intelligence. Why children not performing? It because could be communication skills or processing of sensory or low self-regulation skills. Yeah, but autism by itself, it's not affecting intelligence. So bottom up, it means we will build self-regulation, interest in the world, so all this developmental ladder. Because what I see very often, child may, for example, know all numbers, yeah, but when they come for assessment and they will have difficulty to point on number 1 to 3 or recognize numbers which they easily can recognize at home. What does it tell us? It doesn't tell us about their communication skills or about their intellectual level. It tells us the child could be very frustrated or anxious and doesn't have skills to calm down themselves. Yeah, and these strong emotions will affect all performance. It will affect performance on his cognitions, on intellectual level, and on communication level. Next, inside out. Inside out, it means that in DIR, we're not working with skills which is on surface. Yeah, we will never work on look in the eye or quiet hands or sit on the chair. We will work on internal motivation to do the things. For example, greetings. Yeah, we will work on child desire and comfort and joy to greet other people. Yeah, because when how it happening in behavioral approach and ABA, the child will be trained to say hi or good morning and get rewards for it. But the skills will not be generalized because child not gaining understanding why it should be done and not gaining pleasure of doing this. But in DIR, why we giving so much attention to relationship? Because when child will be happy to be with other people, be confident with other people, they will do greetings and looking in the eye willingly, because they will know that being with others, it's more fun than being by myself. Yeah, so we're working with internal motivation to do things. There is no praises and punishment in DIR. We are working with, for example, the child will be happy to do this because mommy will be happy. Yeah, and that's how we was growing. Yeah, for example, I will clean my room because I know when mother will come from the work, she will be happy that I did it. Yeah, so that's what we work on in DIR. And the last one, that parents are cornerstone. As you saw, like in a behavioral approach, the parents most of the time will be asked to wait outside. And even in a lot of other therapies, like parents will drop children and then pick up after 1 hour. In DIR, it never will work this way. In DIR, parents ask to be on therapy and ask to conduct 6 to 8 sessions per day, at least 15-20 minutes with their child. Why is it so? Because what therapy doing? Therapy building new neural pathways. Yeah, we literally changing the brain or building roads which was not there, and that's required a lot of repetitions. And only with parents' engagement it's possible, because even if as a therapist I will do 5 sessions in a week, it will not be enough to boost development as much as when parents will support and reinforce what therapist is doing. Okay, next one, the difference between behavioral approach, developmental approach, and play therapy. So I wrote there's a behavioral approach, mostly known as ABA. Developmental approach, it's not only DIR, there's a lot of different approaches, but the core concept, they all sharing the same. So play therapy, because a lot of parents asking me what the difference with play therapy. Play therapy, it works with exact mental health problems. It could be aggression, it could be grief, trauma, childhood depression, anxiety, fears, phobias. Yeah, so it's not working with developmental challenges or communication challenges. It's only address very specific mental health related challenges, where through the play child may release this painful experience. So behavioral approach. Behavioral approach focus on what you can see and what you can measure. But as a psychologist, I can say that no, if you can measure something, it doesn't mean that it's meaningful. Yeah, if again we go to your relationship with people whom you love, it's very difficult to measure, like how much do you love them? Yeah, you cannot measure it. You cannot put in the amount of repetitions or the length of engagement, but it's there and it's very strong. Yeah, so in behavioral approach, you will hear it very often, like you can measure it, you can see how many times it was repeated, and you can observe it. But if a child, let's say, is not expressive, the feelings can be there, but you not necessarily can observe it. So the behavioral approach is working with compliance and observable skills. To increase the wanted behavior, there's rewards, and to increase unwanted behavior, there's punishment. What the danger of or limitation, I would say, it's once you have no cookie in your pocket and there's something have to be done, you lost the child. Yeah, the skill will not be generalized. Or if you are not here, if child by him or herself, the skill will probably will not be performed, because in ABE the skill is practiced in very limited settings. For example, greeting. Yeah, it's practiced in the room with one person with one cookie bag. But we have to greet people in the shop, in different houses, on the streets, and these settings are very different. And if child performs greetings by demand without emotional desire and without understanding of social rules, the skill will be not generalized, or it will be very robotic. And maybe you saw the children who may perform socially expected skills, but it's very robotic and it looks like very weird. It doesn't make sense. Another example I would like to give you, it's about say sorry. In all nurseries, all teachers will push children to say sorry. Even like we're talking about normally developing children, but the principle is the same. It's behavioral approach. You hit someone, you have to say sorry. But what's happening? Children think that say sorry, it's enough, without having any understanding why they have to say sorry, or what's a real reason, or without empathy that someone's suffering or it was not fair. Yeah, it just, I made something bad, I say sorry, I'm free. Yeah, so it's not really, it's not teaching kindness or empathy. I hope it makes sense. Yeah, okay. With a behavioral approach, child learn to avoid the therapist or even parents. I met a lot of parents who went through ABA, and then they say that ABA had negative impact on relationship with the child, because child knew that my mom is dragging me somewhere where I will suffer, and it brought disconnection to child and parents. Also, a punishment and rewards, they have tendency to lose their power. If let's say one cookie was enough at the beginning of the year, it may not be enough after 1 year. Yeah, so it's always will be increasing and increasing. And to punishment, what I saw, the child become insensitive to punishment. For example, a common practice of naughty corner, like before, if child was sitting 1 minute and it was like very difficult, if it's practiced quite often, then child can easily sit 10 minutes and it will have no effect. Yeah. So in a behavioral approach, child doesn't learn these skills in emotionally relevant contexts. Yeah, that's why they cannot generalize it for other settings. And in DIR, what Dr. Greenspan he told that if you have only a hammer, everything will become a nail. Yeah, if you have only punishment and rewards, that's the only things which you think can work.
Mhm.
Okay, so what the difference with developmental approach with DIR? We're focusing on the strengths and developing the core capacities of the child. Isolated skills and compliance are de-emphasized. So we want child to come to us and to help me, not because I was directive and they say come to me, but because child trusts me, child want to be with me, and that's why they come to me when I call. Yeah.
Mhm.
So in DIR, we focus not on isolated skill, but on internal motivation. And first, it's always work with the family, but then how we expand, how we make sure that it will generalize. We practice with children who will be on the playground, to neighbors with whom child comfortable, and then it will be generalized to school and further. In DIR, all behavior is purposeful and is communication. It's tend to believe that lining up something or making circles or you name it, yeah, we quite often perceive it that it doesn't have any sense and child is self-absorbed. But in DIR we have this understanding that child want to communicate, every child want to communicate, but they may not know how to do it. Yeah. And all behavior is purposeful. So as I give example before, child who is lining up the cars, for example, it has meaning, but we are the one who failing child, that we are not getting it, that we are not understanding what's happening. Yeah, but no one will do something what doesn't has any meaning. Yeah, so we have to join the world of the child and try to understand what is so exciting about it. So because very often when child comes for therapy or even at home, we adults will give some activities, and if child is not interesting, we will say that, oh, the child failing, the child is not capable. But it's way around. It's me. I give something, either child developmentally not ready yet, or it's outside of the interest of the child, or the way how I give this activity, it's just not attractive, it's just boring. Yeah. So but the difficulty, or like what I always kind of alarm parents about DIR, that the progress may not be seen immediately because we're working with internal changes. Yeah, if we would take the like iceberg picture, yeah, behavioral approach, we work with the top, with behavior, which is easily can be seen, and within a week you can see that there's changes. But with DIR, we're working with core deficiency, and it may take 1 month, 2 months, till we will observe the challenge, the changes. But it's building up. Yeah. Yeah, that's I mentioned before that DIR can be applicable to education, parenting style, and any kind of therapy. So when it comes to implementation, it's advised to have 6 to 8 sessions in a day, at least 20 minutes, but even if it will be 10 minutes, but it will be through the day, it will be very helpful. And further you will learn, you will know that DIR, it's not only on the floor. It could be on the car, it could be in the park, it could be on the in the supermarket. It's the framework, it's the approach, it's a parenting style through which you supporting development of the child. So don't be frightened by these numbers. Yes, like initially, if it's like very challenging behavior, it's better to have the time when it's uninterrupted, when it's very safe and familiar setting for the child. But further, you can do it at any settings. So after webinar, what you can do next? There's a lot of videos on YouTube. There's a lot of articles. There's like tons of materials on the internet how you can self-educate yourself. There's two facilities which are rooted from Dr. Greenspan, which provide a very good level of education. It's called ICDL or Prefectum. I was studying in ICDL, that's why I'm listed on ICDL website. But Prefectum is managed by the son of the Dr. Greenspan. Okay, yes, yes, Mehak. Mehak, it's my very first experience of recording. Okay, if technically I will do everything wrong, everything right, I for sure will share. Yes. So then I'm sure, like I think all of you in the WhatsApp group. Natalie, are you in WhatsApp group?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So you always can ask any questions, anything through this WhatsApp group, or if you don't feel comfortable to do it public, you can send email. I do group education and coaching. Now it's through online, so it's small groups. It's up to 6 parents. How it's working? Parents recording, video recording, how they doing. They can call it DIR session. They can call it just play, and they submitting it to me, and then we'll watch it all together. Yeah, and we discussing what can be done else, what can be done differently, what was working well, what should be avoided in the future. And also I'm providing materials which is designed for these small groups, which is the most suitable for these children, what should be done for these children. Individual therapy and coaching could be. And next free webinar, the same format as we did today, will be on 15th of August. It will be about self-regulation, because with all children with whom I'm working, like 99%, they have challenges with self-regulation. Even if they're like very intelligent and they can talk, but they get dysregulated very easily. They don't know how to calm down and continue conversation. Sometimes we will start to play and literally like 1 minute, and then child have to run around or jump, and then they come back. So that's why I believe like self-regulation skill, and not only me, not only what I believe, but as per DIR concept, that's what we always have to make sure that it's very solid skill, very well established skill, so child can move further. So that's what will be our webinar about. And so this is web page of Prefectum and ICDL. Both of these companies, they're providing free educational material. They're providing webinar courses, chargeable courses for parents. And if you want to learn it further, like there's a lot of courses on professional level, or you can write. This is my email address and my phone number. Okay, so do you have any questions? Anything about material which was today? Any questions in relation to your child? Any objections? Anything?
I do. So you talked about the, 'cause my little girl's non-verbal at the moment. She makes a lot of sounds and repetitive sounds and things. Now, if I was to, I like the lullaby, you know, the nursery rhymes, because she loves it. You always get a lot of attention. So I can see totally what you're talking about there. But say tomorrow I was to have her in her bedroom and she's picking up some toys. And like I said, she doesn't know that she wouldn't pick up a car and go like this necessarily. So say she did pick up a car and she will most likely put it in her mouth, or she kind of explores it. She's very sensory. What kind of thing would I do with her? Do I pick up something else and start playing with it?
Um, you first step, always share the world of the child. In
Okay.
DIR, we will not say that's wrong. Whatever
Okay.
child is doing, that's correct. Child doing it
Okay.
for some purpose. If we don't know the purpose, it doesn't mean that it's not there. Yeah?
Okay.
So we see child through this lens. She doing something, meaning she enjoying it, she is interested about it, and she is comfortable with it. And we join her. So if she took the car, yeah, she took the car and she is touching it. You
Yeah.
can touch the same car, and you
Oh,
can,
okay.
yes, oh, that's so hard. And your voice, your face should be very emotional. Oh, it's so hard. I
Yeah.
love this red color. Uh, and then you can put the car on your head. So you bring your attention to yourself.
Face.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And oh, it can drive down, 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 down. Oh, it's driving all the way around. Oh, where is it? Where's the
Yeah.
car? Yeah. So whatever she will take,
Mm-hmm.
you play around it.
Okay.
You have to consider like the speed of your speech. Yeah. Most
Mm-hmm.
probably it doesn't have to be very fast, so she can process it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you may include even it could be nursery rhyme or it could be just singing. Yeah, if it's just car and she start, because you say she does repetitive sound. Yeah, for example,
Yeah.
she say boo 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 and you say boo 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 boo. So you can use the same object and the same sound, so she will feel that, oh, mommy with me, mommy understand, we can
Yeah.
have fun together. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's good. Thank you.
Yeah, so you're mirroring her interest. And
Okay.
then next step. So the first, maybe like this week, just join her. Don't put in any obstacles. But then how we moving child further in the developmental ladder? We're putting playful obstacles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when she get this feeling that mommy with me, we can have fun together, then
Mm-hmm.
next time with the same toy, with the same car, with the same boo boo, you hide it and you, where is it? Yeah, and you
Yeah.
hide it inside.
Mm-hmm.
And she has to give you more attention. Yeah,
Yeah.
and if she has, if she has, for example, challenges with, uh, you know, like some children, they get very easily disengaged if there are some obstacles. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. She does.
If like she doesn't see the car and she lost interest, means our obstacle was too much. We lost the
Okay.
child. you can hide like this. Where it is? Yeah.
Okay.
Next
Yeah.
time you can hide further. Then next time you can hide it under the blanket. So what I want to say is that the same activity, the same one card, you can have activities of very different levels. Yeah, one time you hide it this way, then further, then somewhere in the blanket, and you can lie on the top of the blanket, and she may start to push you, and I cannot move, I cannot move, and then she push you, and it's not there, where it is, and then you have to leave the blanket, and you put your hands again on the blanket. So you're creating playful obstacles. What it gives us, playful obstacles is very, very strong tool, which we use in DIR. First, it helps child to build self-regulation. Whereas in life, there's most of the time we're not getting what we want immediately. Yeah?
Yeah.
So child learning and building up the skill to tolerate not getting what they want immediately, and it's very important skill in nursery or in the school. Even if they want break, they have to wait 5 minutes. Yeah. Next, it helps them to be engaged. Yeah, even if something not right, I'm still here, I'm still being on the same place with someone else. Then what is very important, it helps to build this back and forth conversation, back and forth, even if it's non-verbal. Yeah, but because this card, it's something what she interested about, she will work for it to get it. Yeah, like before, for example, she look at it and she put it down, but now there's mommy to whom she attached, and it's close to mommy, so we maybe will have 2 more circles of communication, because here you can hold it. Even if she starts to pull, hey, it's stuck. You know, like you can increase the circles of communication with it.
No, that's really interesting. Thank you.
Yeah. Rivati, Mehak, do you have any questions? Rivati, we cannot hear you.
Yeah, are you able to hear me now? Yeah.
Yes.
So honestly, my son is completely non-verbal. Like even I'm doing speech therapy also, but still is not able to say the word, even the sounds also. Only used to say tick tock like that, talk. Only few sounds he is doing. He's completely mute. So the play therapy will help to fetch the words, like how far it is, like will it go equal in like a speech therapy or any other things?
You have a boy, right?
Yeah.
Is he communicating?
No, just if he wants something, he used to fetch my hands, I mean pull me, and then he will show the things like that.
What I mean, because it's very different communicating and speech. Yeah, when I'm asking communicating, for example, can you play together with something for, let's say, 10 minutes uninterrupted? Can you play together? Like
Yeah, he
when
will play. Used to play hide and seek, those kind of games we can play. Even he used to play ball with me. Now he is sleeping. Otherwise, I would have shown him, but now he is sleeping.
Okay. Is he initiating games?
Yeah, he likes to play. If he likes to run behind us, like he likes the catching games. If he run, he will just become very happy, and he will start run fast and try to escape from us. So this catching games he likes.
Okay. He has okay. What you can do? For example, he loved ball, right? As I understand.
Yeah.
So, and he brought you the ball. Yeah, so you're holding the ball. And at least you can encourage him to say initial sounds. Yeah. Do you want to play ball? B, b, ball. So you stress the sound. Yeah. And because there's something what he really want to do, there's more chances that he will say the sound. Why children, the first word for most of the children, mother? Why is it so? It's not because it's easy to pronounce. It's because there's a lot of emotions around this person. Yeah, that's why when we're working with the pronunciation, with speech, we encourage or we working with object which child really like. Yeah, ball, or for example, he wants to go outside to play football. Yeah, and you on the door, and you, I stuck. So you want to use very short sentences, okay? And like, what shall we do? Shall we open? Oh, open? And you waiting. Yeah, you give him chance to say this sound. Oh, open. Yeah. So you can start. Keep in mind his interest and catch this moment when he really wants something, and encourage to pronounce, like, it should be very emotional, you know.
I got it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
Makes sense.
yeah, and also like you can work with nursery rhymes. Yeah, so the nursery rhymes, what is very important, because on YouTube most of the nursery rhymes will be very fast. So when I'm working with children, I'm not using any gadgets, because the speed is too much and
Yeah.
there's too much colors and changing pictures. So for example, wheels on the bus, I will sing, or we will start with slowly. The wheels on the bus goes round and round, because child can has challenges to process the sound, to produce the sound, and to repeat the moves. So there's a lot of things going on together, and we want child to be comfortable about. And if he or she has challenges to make the move, yeah, to rotate the hand, we will do it hand over hand.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So, Rivasi, when you work with your boy, and you're doing nursery rhymes, sing it by yourself. Don't use any audio, yeah, and sing it in the speed, like at slow speed.
Slow
So,
speed. Got it.
but then you can increase when, let's say, the child will know the moves and the sounds or the words.
Okay.
And Rivasi, it's good to start with also imitation sounds. Yeah, like animal imitation sounds, because there's less demands. He have to just repeat the sound. Yeah, and you can engage. Let's say sensory. There's like different books where, let's say, there will be animals and they can touch. Yeah, so we want to engage multisensory.
Yeah, having sensory books, I got it from him.
Does he has interest to it?
Yeah.
Does he has interest to it?
Yeah, no, he won't show much interest, but I used to make him touch the books and all. Just for some time, just for a second, he will touch it, but he's not showing that much interest towards it. But nowadays, he started turning the pages, like not that book, other books, like whichever as a pictures. He just likes to turn the pages, and he used to watch the pictures, everything. That interest is coming now.
Okay. Mehak, do you have any questions?
She's mute.
Hi, Kanom. I'm sorry, I don't know the name. Is there any other questions? Also, like for thinking about WhatsApp group and further webinars, what you would like to know, what is interesting for you? Because I noticed like in WhatsApp group there is not too much engagement, so I thought maybe there's not materials which is really interested. So if you can tell maybe a few words, what in particular you're interested about?
I mean, for me, I think I'd like to just give what you've told me a try first, because I didn't know that much about it. I Googled it, like I said at the beginning, and had a little look. And I was doing it more just for us to build our relationship and get her to play. But then when I realised there could be some therapeutic benefits as well. So I think I'd like to give this a try first over the next couple of weeks, and then I might have a better idea on what I might need some, more information on.
Yeah, and if you feel comfortable, any of you, yeah, I'm talking to all of you. If you feel comfortable, you can record even 1, 2, 3 minutes how you're playing with your child, even without implementing like DIR, your natural style. And you feel comfortable to share it on WhatsApp group, you can do it, and I can give feedback what can be done to implement DIR principles.
That would be good, thank you.
Yeah, and as you correctly say, Natalie, you just have to dive into it and start to do. Yeah, don't wait for perfect moment till I read something or till I attend some webinars or seminars. Just start to apply whatever like you heard today or whatever you read. Yeah.
No, well, definitely. Thank you. It was really interesting.
Yeah. And can you please share some videos, even you told, in practical videos, so that we will get some more idea?
Yep, sure, I can share it. I can share videos, what I do, but it will be much more beneficial if like you start to do, because even if like you will study for 1 year, but without doing it, there will be not outcome. And I will share it. I will yeah, sure.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't have any other questions.
Okay. Okay, Mehat Khanum, if you don't have any question, we wrap up at this moment. I was recording the session. I will do my best to share it, and yeah, feel free always to ask anything on WhatsApp group or through email, and check the Prefectum or ICDL website or any other resources for DIR. And have fun, bond with your child, and yeah, I hope when we will meet on 15th of August, you will have something to share about the progress, how it went.
Yes,
definitely. Definitely, I'd like that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Have a
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.